are now going to go ahead and progress ourselves down to the floor. And so I want to talk to you about a couple ways of getting down onto the floor because that's really important, especially when we're dealing with osteoporosis and want to protect our bones, is we don't want to do that forward flexion. How do I get on the floor without bending over, Jen? Great, I'm glad you asked. All right, so we have a couple different options. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the ways to do this a little bit easier. I'm going to start off with taking my handy chair. And so there's a way that you can do this by having my chair at my mat. And if you don't have a mat on the floor, that's fine. You can do these also, these series, laying in your bed or on your sofa. If you have a long sofa, maybe remove the back couch cushions, and that is great. But here's a way of getting down onto the floor, okay? So I could start off with bending and hinging at my hips and bringing my hands down to my chair and then kneeling down onto that floor. And then I'm going to work myself over onto all fours. And I'm going to go ahead and get myself positioned into my bridge position. Sorry. This is the bridge. This is quadruped. All right? So that's one option. Another option, so if I were to get back up, I'm going to come over to my chair, one hand up and then the other, and then I'm going to bring one foot forward, and I'm going to push off of that front foot. And I'm going to take that back toe and tuck it under as I push and give myself support to get all the way back up. Now maybe you have the ability to get down a little bit more. You don't need that. You need the use of a chair. So a couple other ways to progress down. One is going back to that hip hinge that we did in the very beginning, where we're going to bend at our hips and bend our knees. Now I'm going to continue coming down until my chest is resting on my thighs. And I'm here. And now I'm going to walk my hands to the floor and then just walk out and press my hands to the floor and bring my knees down. I can come back out of that position by coming back, keeping my toes tucked under, and I'm going to push and come onto my legs, keeping my back nice and flat, and then I'm going to unhinge and come right back up. So that's the second way of getting down. A third way of getting down is going into a lunge. So we talked about lunges earlier, and so this is another great way of getting down. So, but it might be a little bit more challenging because it requires a lot more balance, okay? So do the best that you can. You can always do it near a wall so you have something to hold on to. That's a great option, okay? So I'm going to step one foot forward. I'm going to drive that back knee straight down. I'm going to bring that foot into a point position from a flex to a point and bring this other leg down. And then I can come into my quadruped position. Now that we are safely onto the floor, I wanted to give you a couple options here. It might be a little bit uncomfortable for you to have your hands flat up against the floor like this. So if you need to, grab a weight if you happen to have them. I actually happen to have some. And so I can actually bring my weight down, and I'm going to curl my hand around that weight so I can keep my wrists straight. If that's something you don't have, you could maybe grab a towel and roll that towel and hold and grasp that towel. Now your knuckles will be pushing onto the floor, but hopefully that will be a little bit more comfortable. So that is an option there. Also, if it's a little uncomfortable for your knees, you can double up your mat for your knees as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off with some breathing exercises here. I'm going to start off with tucking my tailbone in, keeping my navel to spine. I'm going to tuck my tailbone in, letting that get rounded at the bottom, and then releasing. I'm not going into a deep slouch like this. I'm keeping that nice and strong flat back, tucking and releasing. Just a little pelvic tilt in and out. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And last one. Good. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and into, I'm going to call it cow and flat. We don't want to go into a cat pose. Sometimes you'll see that. People will go from a cow pose and then they'll lift and they'll flex their spine, but this is a strong pose for healthy aging program, and so we want to make sure that we are being mindful not to do a lot of flexion in our spine to protect our spine. So I'm going to, coming in, I'm going to come down. Now I'm going to let my tailbone come up, and now I'm going to come and lift and tuck that tailbone, keeping it flat. Letting it come down and flat. Now let's add a breath with that. I'm going to inhale while my belly is reaching the floor, and exhale as I tuck my tailbone under. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. It's a small movement. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a stretching pose. I'm going to push back into child pose. I'm going to let my hips come back into my heels. And I'm going to reach, and I'm going to keep my back flat and stretch my hands out. Now there's a couple things here. I could stack my fists and put my forehead on my fist, and that helps my back stay nice and flat. That's one option. Or I could just have my elbows down and be in here. Now, it might not be comfortable for you. You might not have that range to come all the way back like I do. You might need to be here with that flat back and just come here, and that's fine. And kind of work on that range as much as you can, and you can just be reaching back and forth on those elbows if that's a little bit more comfortable for you. But you want to keep that back nice and flat. All right, so I'm going to progress into another move here, and I'm going to come from my child pose, and I'm going to go into cobra. Okay, so as I do that, I'm going to be inhaling, lifting my hips up, and then keeping my hands forward, and I'm going to exhale my hips down. Now I can stop here, keeping a back flat, or I can come and let my hips come further down. It depends on what's going on with your back. And then I'm going to inhale my hips up and exhale back. Inhale, exhale those hips down. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. Good. This is a really comfortable move. Now that might be too much for you. It might be too extreme. So you could always pull it in and just come forward and back here. This is fine. If this is where you are right now, I want you to work at the level that you are in. These are great modifications. Take advantage of them. Listen to your body. One more time. Good. All right. Now we're going to go from our tabletop position, which is just like a table. I have 4 points on the floor, both hands and both knees. And in our bird dog exercise, we're going to be working on challenging that and removing one or more of those legs or those arms. Okay? So I'm going to start off with progressing with just my arms. And I'm going to bring one arm forward. So I bring my left arm forward, and then I bring it back. Seeing how I do, maintaining my shoulders staying even and my hips staying even, parallel to the floor. I'm going to do it one more time before I then lift my hand up. So my hands are still reaching on the floor. I'm not lifting yet. Now I'm going to extend my arm, my left arm, and now I'm going to lift it, and I'm going to reach and lengthen. You can keep your hands flat here, or you can make a fist and contract through. It's a little bit of a different feeling. And then I'm going to bring that hand down and pull back. Now I'm going to go to the other side, extend and lift. Hand can be open, or I can make that fist, and I'm going to hold this, finding that balance. And then come back down. Now I'm going to progress to the legs. I'm going to just start off with one leg back, toe is on the floor. What does that feel like? And then bring myself back in. How can I manage this move? You are only going to progress to the point that is comfortable for you. If you are challenged by having your toe down, then that is where you should stay. As you're doing this, you are going to progressively get stronger. Good. Now I'm going to extend. Now I'm going to lift that leg, working hard to not let that hip pop up. It's easy to think, I want to go high and lift and open that hip. No, I want to keep my leg long and keep my hips even. and then back down and pull in. Now go to the other leg, extend. Now lift it. Now my lift might not be very high, and that's okay. It's not about height, it's about length. Lengthening away and then down. One more each side. Good, and keep breathing through all of these exercises. Do not stop breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. Now I'm going to progress this, so instead of standing on 3 on 2 legs and an arm, or 2 arms and a leg, I'm going to be standing on 2 points. So this is a really big challenge for our body, so I want you to take your time with this. We're going to again start off with our hands and our toes on the floor as we extend before we lift off that floor. I don't want you to go in lifting off until you are ready and strong, and your body, the parts that are holding you up, are able to manage that well. Okay, we want to have good form here. I'm going to extend my left arm and my right leg, so opposite side. And I'm just going to hold here. How does my body respond? Can I handle this? Or am I moving all over? Try to handle here, and then come back in. Go to the other side. So my right arm and left leg, long and hold, and then bring back in. Again, just keeping onto the floor, and then back in. This is a slow progression, working for our bodies. There's a lot going on here. Now we're going to progress to lifting our arm and our leg off the floor. So remember, take your time with this, and it's not about how high I can lift my arm and my leg. My arm is not going to lift higher than my shoulder, and my leg is not going to lift higher than my hip. It's about lengthening, okay? You ready? So left arm, right leg, extend and lift. And I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale down, and pull that back in. You go to the other side. Extend and lift. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and lower the arm and leg and pull them back in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a series of these. I'm going to do them 4 times, and it's a 4 set, so each side will get done 4 times. Are you ready? So just follow along. You can do whatever pace, whatever's best for you. Extend, lift and hold. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale and lower. Extend and lift. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale and lower. That's 1 set. Hold, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale and lower. Lift with the inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale and lower. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and lower. This is my 3rd set. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and lower. Good. 1 more set. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Other side. Lift, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. And now I'm going to push back into child pose and stretch that out. Keeping my back flat. I'm going to stack my fists and rest. I'm going to breathe 3 times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now I'm going to progress to get onto my side, to my back, so I can do some work on my back. So I want to be careful to not do a lot of twisting of my spine. So I'm going to come and let that hip come down. And now I'm going to let this arm slide out. And my supporting hand in front is going to give me a little extra support as I slide down. Long. Good. And now with this arm here, I'm going to roll back and keep my bodies, my shoulder through my hips in one position, almost like I'm going to be rolling like a hot dog. And I can open my legs up. I can lift one leg up as I come over. And I come over as one position. Good. And then slide yourself over so you're flat on your back. We're going to go into some supine exercises here. And so you might notice when you come onto your back that your head tilts back because you might have some kyphosis going on in your upper back. And so what I want you to do is to grab a pillow and to put it underneath of your head. I want your chin to be not tucked in, but just comfortable. And I want your nose to draw back to the floor. So I want this to be in a comfortable position for you, and I don't want your chin extended back. If you're having to look over your head all the way back, then that's not a good position for you to stay in through these exercises. I want that head to come back down and to be pushing into the floor. So if you need to get a cushion, go ahead and get that and put that under your head. Let's talk about my low back here. And my low back, earlier we talked about pelvic tilting, and now we're going to do some more pelvic tilting in this position. So I want to think about that curve, in my natural curve in my low back. And I want you to kind of put your hand under your low back and feel how you have this natural curve. Now, if I were to take my pelvis, and I'm going to tilt my pelvis back, tuck my tailbone under, I'm going to take away that space, that's called imprinting, and then I'm going to release it back up. So if you need a hand underneath here to feel a little feedback or get a little towel, you can put that underneath. That's a great thing to be able to help you. Just a thin little towel, like a little dish towel is fine. Roll it up a little bit. And so I'm going to keep this arm up so you can see my moves here. And I'm going to tilt under, hold, and release. Let's do that 8 times. Tilt and hold, and release. 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 3 more times. Keep that navel to spine. Good job. Remember to keep breathing. Do not hold your breath with this. Last one. Good. Now we're going to progress this a little bit further. I'm going to have my hands forward, reaching up to the ceiling. You can progress this more by adding weights to your hands as well. Okay, that's an option for you to use. I'm going to pelvic tilt and hold. I'm going to bring one arm overhead and lift that arm up. Bring the other arm overhead and lift that up. Now release my pelvis. Did you notice that? Tuck that pelvis. One arm overhead and lift. Then the other arm overhead and lift. Release the pelvis. Good, so that's one progression. Another progression is keeping my hands still and going through my legs. I'm going to do a heel slide. So if you're wearing shoes, it might be better to take your shoes off, but just work within what you can. I'm going to leave my shoes on, and I'm going to pelvic tilt. Now I'm going to slide that leg down, and then bend, and then slide the other leg, and bend, and release that pelvis. Tuck the pelvis, extend the leg, and pull it in. Extend the leg, and pull it in. And release that pelvis. Good job. Now another progression is to combine these. So I'm going to do my arm and my legs at the same time. I'm going to go with my right arm and my left leg. So I'm going to start off with a pelvic tilt. Extend and lift. Extend and lift. Untuck. Tuck that pelvis. Extend and lift. Extend and lift. Release that pelvis. Good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this 8 times, a total 1 on each side, and so it'll be a total of 8 on each set, okay? So let's go ahead and begin together. You ready? And I want you to work within, if it's only comfortable right now for you to do the arms or only comfortable for you to do the legs, just do that for right now. So I've given you a couple different options here, so you then progress to the full, both arms and legs, as you feel comfortable, and add weights as you're ready. So tuck the pelvis, extend, and lift. Good breathing. Extend and lift, untuck. tuck, extend, and lift, extend, and lift. That's 2. Tuck, extend, and lift, extend, and lift. Untuck that pelvis. Tuck that pelvis. Extend, and lift, extend, and lift. That's 3. And tuck, and extend, and lift, extend, and lift. That's 4. Tuck, that's 5. Tuck. It's hard sometimes to hold that tuck. You got to really concentrate. 6. Tuck. Tuck for your final one. Oh, sorry, this is 7. I miscounted. I've never done that before. Tuck again. There's always 2 more to do. Good job. All right. All right. Now I'm going to progress into our bridge work. I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing our bridges, okay? Give you a couple different options here. So we're going to start off, I'm going to keep my arm again overhead just so you can see. I'm going to start off with that pelvic tilt, and I'm going to lift from my hips, pushing through my heels, pushing and lifting those hips up, trying to draw a line from my knee through my hip to my shoulder. I'm not on my neck here, I'm on my shoulder blades, okay? And then I'm going to come down with my back in one unit coming down. Now in Pilates class, we come down with a curled back. In strong bones, we don't want that curl to happen. We don't want that flexion. So you come down with that flat back. I'm going to put my arm back down here. If you want to have your hands here for support, that's great. You could progress to have your hands up. That's also an option, okay? I'll have my hands down to help give you that clue. You ready? So I'm going to tuck my pelvis under and lift my hips up and hold, pushing through my heels. I'm squeezing my bum. And then I'm going to lower back down. Inhale, lift, hold. Exhale, lower. 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 That's 8. Good job. Now I'm going to progress this to a march. Now as you do the march, I want you to have your hands down on the floor. You might need a little bit of that for stabilization, and that's fine. Your march does not need to be a lot. So my march is going to be this with my legs. You're going to do this move. I'm going to be lifting one leg up and down, but my hips are going to be up in the air. So I could have a high lift like this, keeping my knee fully bent, or it could be a low march. Whatever is best for you. I want you to be mindful and intentional in your movement and not let it come down quick. Don't come down quick. Control. Control is really important. All right, so let's go ahead and bridge up. And if this is too much for you, you could just do the marching here on the floor. That is fine. Or you can just go ahead and do some more of the bridges for this next series if you're not comfortable doing the marching yet with the bridge. You ready? Let's go ahead and inhale those hips up and hold. And I'm going to bring all my weight to my right foot and lift my left up and down. And then all my weight to my left, lift up my right and down. Let's keep going. This is 2nd. And 3. And 4. Keep breathing. 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. Bring this hip hold. Now bring those hips down. Good. And I'm going to come into a stretch and let my knees come to my chest, and I'm just going to rock side to side here. Now you can pause the tape and do more of those if you want, and do another set. I'm just pretty much doing one set so you can have an idea of what to do. Now I'm going to go into my stretching, and so I'm going to go from this position here. I'm going to extend one leg long, and I'm going to pull this knee in, and I'm going to hold that knee to chest. This is called single knee to chest. And I'm going to breathe 3 times. Inhale, exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Now I'm going to bring the other knee in and then let my other leg go extended long. And again, 3 breaths. Next move that we're going to do is a piriformis stretch. Okay, that's a deep gluteal muscle that is often causes us a lot of problems. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to take one ankle and cross it onto the other leg. Now this in itself might be kind of challenging for you. It might be hard to let that leg press out, to even bring that leg up. Do the best that you can. If you need to grab a strap, you can grab a strap to help you do that. Okay? And so I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to press out this knee for 3 breaths. Now I'm going to take my hands and put them behind the thigh that's holding that knee. And I'm going to bring that leg up, bend the knee, and pull it back in. Now it's easy for this leg to want to come in to my midline. I want that leg that I'm holding on to stay. So I'm holding my right leg, so I want my right leg to stay on my right shoulder, staying in line with my right shoulder. And I'm going to pull in, keeping my back flat on the floor. And as able, maybe let your legs come further over to the right, and that's going to challenge and create some more tension into that glute. I'm feeling this a lot right in this space here. And you're going to hold it, not hold your breath, and breathe through it 3 times. Good. Let's bring ahead and bring our hips even. Bring one foot down, bring the other foot down. Now cross the right ankle onto the left knee. Gently press out that right knee. As I do this, I feel a lot of tension and a lot of work going on in that hip joint, because that's an area that I tend to have a little issue with. So I'm being gentle as I do that stretch. I'm not pushing hard. So I want you to pay attention to what your body is telling you. Now I'm going to take both hands behind that left thigh, extend that leg, pulling it in, keeping that back flat as much as able, and then bend the knee and bring that leg in. Maybe you need to have a strap instead. You can get a belt. That's always a great option. And let that leg stay in line with that left shoulder. Just bringing that over, I feel a nice stretch through that whole glute. Now, as able, let that leg come over a little bit further to the left, pulling it in. It's going to add a little bit more to that stretch, and breathe for 3 breaths. Good. All right, I'm going to let my legs come down. Good. Now I'm going to bring both knees into my chest. And just rest here for a moment. Now this might be the range where you need to be. If you can, I'd like us to move towards Happy Baby, which is going to let me bring my legs up. And if I can, I might need to only hold on to my shins. That's an option. If you can, I'd like you to reach to the outside of your foot, keeping your back flat. This is really a big hip opener. And just rest here. You can rock side to side. Let your elbows be on the inside of your thighs. Maybe this is too much, too intense. You just need to be here. So my hands are holding on to my shins, and my elbows are inside my thighs, and I'm just resting. This is a great inner thigh stretch here. Whew. Nice deep breathing. Good, bring those legs in. All right, so now I need to get myself back up. I'm going to come all the way over to my side, roll. Did you see what I did there? I brought that arm, the side that I'm going to roll, I brought that arm overhead, and then I let my knees through my shoulders roll to that side, all together. Now I'm going to use my hand, my front top hand, and this arm, I'm going to extend and come up as one unit. Good. And I'm going to come all the way up, and I'm going to get myself back up off the floor as we discussed earlier. Thank you for joining me for our class today of Strong Bones for Healthy Aging. We hope that you enjoyed our class and that you're able to learn how best to move your bodies and to have a good workout.